Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you now that we have 4 teams left on the road to a Super Bowl this year after the Bears and what else? The Bears' thrilling loss to the Rams. And the Magic Man, as Williams has displayed time and time again, made one of the great plays we've seen. I mean, even better than last week's play to hit Cole Kmet, the backup tight end from Notre Dame, because Loveland had gotten hurt, his favorite target, and send that game into overtime. Now, not having Loveland in overtime, I think, hurt them because that's his favorite target by far. Plus, he expects his receivers to adjust. And more didn't adjust on the play. Curl made a very nice interception, and I felt that would be it. And I'll tell you where I really thought the Bears blew it. On the third down play that gave them the big first down. On the third down play to Nakoa, I don't care, okay? You have to take Nakoa out of the equation there. You know that there is not a chance in the world on a third and intermediate there that he is going to go anywhere else than in the goal in that spot. He does for the first down. They tried to score a touchdown because they didn't want to put the pressure on the rookie kicker who wound up winning it anyway. They got hurt by a bad punt that set the ball up on the 50 that gave the Bears a short field to send the game into overtime. It's always special teams with the Rams. Obviously, field conditions were an issue. Weather was an issue. They both had trouble getting the ball to their top people, top targets this evening. That was the case, but same for both teams. And the Rams survive after the Bears, and kudos to the Bears. Whether you like Ben Johnson or not, whether you like Caleb Williams or not, those guys gave us a heck of a show this year with their fourth quarter comebacks, with their heroics, with their drama the last couple of weeks. You know, kudos to the Bears. They had a heck of a season. They'll be crushed by this, no question. But Rams and Seattle will be a very, very interesting third meeting for a trip to go to the Super Bowl. Seattle buried a beat-up San Francisco team. You know, San Francisco opens the game, giving up a kick return for a touchdown, and then turns the ball over twice. You're not going to do anything in Seattle playing that way. Sam has the oblique problem, which didn't come to the fore because they were romping the whole way. So Seattle's there as expected. The Rams there as expected. That should be a terrific, really a terrific matchup. In game number 2 Sunday night. Now, unfortunately, if we had the Pats and the Broncos at full strength, would have been a terrific matchup. Trying to win that game with a limited backup quarterback. I have great respect for Sean. I have respect for how hard it is to win in Denver. I've been there for championship games. It is a very tough building, one of the toughest in the sport to play in, by far. There's forget the altitude. The altitude isn't that big a deal, especially for a young team like New England. The bottom line is playing in that building is very, very hard. And I'll tell you, the New England offense has not looked good. May's made some throws, and their receivers have made terrific catches. Terrific catches. Really some outstanding plays on touchdown scores and some other big throws. But May has turned the ball over a lot. They have not looked great, and Stroud's performance last week in Pittsburgh was bad. Today it was incalculably bad. It was that much worse, and I'll tell you something, I thought the announcers did a terrible job by not bringing up Mills as we went to the half. I think it had to be a real issue. I think he should have been asked about it at halftime. I thought D'Amico Ryans completely blew it. When you see a quarterback playing that poorly, he had all those turnovers. He could have easily had 3 or 4 more. Easily. He played with his head down. He was demoralized by their defense. He was demoralized by the rush. He left the field sulking. He was had his head down when he went to the bench. Cannot lead that way. It wasn't fair for that defense, and I guarantee you that defense, which is great, I guarantee you there was some conversations among those defenders as they walked back out on the field time after time saying, "Can we get a little quarterback play?" I understand they lost an offensive lineman. They were playing without Nico Collins. They lost Schultz early in the game. Marks was banged up. I understand they lost 4 or 5 offensive players, but your quarterback cannot go in a tank like that. And they have to decide now, after a couple of years of this, do they have a quarterback? Because they didn't have one today. And I think they made a colossal mistake. Mills can use his legs. Mills went 3-0 when he took over. As a matter of fact, Stroud came back early because he thought he was going to lose his job to Mills after Mills won his third straight game and got them started on the winning streak after they opened the season poorly. I would have put him in. I thought they made a terrible error by not putting him in. I'm not saying they would have won the game, but they would have had a chance to win the game. They had no chance to win the game with him at quarterback. That's how bad he was. And now, obviously, Denver has to win with a backup quarterback who has not played, who is not highly thought of. And Sean did the right thing yesterday. He addressed it. He told you he can win with the backup. He told you that he has great faith in him. What else is he going to say? Oh, woe is me. I don't have a chance to win a play. I'm in a championship game, and my quarterback just went south. He hurt it, and he broke a bone in his ankle, and now we have no chance to get to the Super Bowl. Yeah, hey, he has all week to pump up his team and pump up this player and convince them that they can win and give them a game plan that they can win with. And New England on the road, this young New England team is vulnerable. The Denver can win this game. I didn't say it's going to be easy. Okay. Denver deserves to be the underdog without any question. They're playing with a backup quarterback, which is a very, very difficult, if not impossible thing to do. And the other game, the winner will be clearly favored to win the Super Bowl. That goes without saying. Seattle, with their defense, with their running game, with Sam and the Rams, who are legit. Their special teams are weak, though. But listen, we know these two teams that know each other so well and have played some, really wild games are going to clearly play a great game. I don't think there's any question about that. To me, the game is an absolute toss up. The Rams have every bit of a chance to win as much as Seattle does. And the winner of that game will, without question, be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. The Rams, hey, they knew that was not going to be an easy game. They knew it was not going to be an easy game in the weather. And they also knew that, obviously, dealing with this bad team, which had grown up and gotten better and better, it was not gonna be an easy thing to do without any question. Stafford was 20 of 42, very un-Stafford-like. He didn't have a touchdown pass, very un-Stafford-like. He didn't have any turnovers, which was, critical. He got sacked 4 times, which is a lot for him. He had trouble getting the ball to Nakua, which is unusual. He had 10 targets, caught 5 passes for 56 yards, including that huge one on 3rd down. I thought Williams played very well with 21 for 87 and a couple of touchdowns. He did a good job. Uh, this was a hard game for them to win. without any question, a hard game. They got a good game from Durant. They got a big game out of Curl, including that big interception. Durant had 2 interceptions. Curl had the, game-changing interception. He also had a bunch of tackles, broke up some pass plays. He had a very good game. There's no question about that. Uh, it was a very, very good, dramatic playoff game, as you would expect. Now, I know there is all this drama, and let me tell you, I never it is rare. I mean, it'll happen once in 5 or 6 or 10 years that I will miss a playoff game. I missed the San Francisco game. I saw a little of it. I saw almost all of the Buffalo game. Went to Philadelphia yesterday because my twins turned 21. My daughter goes to Villanova. We went to the St. John's Villanova game. John's played well. That's for a story for another day. So we went. I took the kids to the and some of their friends to the game last night. Um, when I got back this morning, I watched all the Buffalo stuff again, over and over and over. My and I understand that the world is incredibly and definitively divided on whether that was a catch or not. I do not think it was a catch. I do not think it was a catch. I think it was headed to be an incomplete pass because he didn't survive the ground, but the ball wound up in the hands of the defender, which turned it into an interception. I did not think it was a catch, and those who say there's no question that it's a catch, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I'm trying to be fair, and I was rooting for the Bills. I picked the Bills, and I was rooting for the Bills. Now, let me say a couple other things about that game. Number one, I thought the Bills absolutely got screwed at the end of regulation. That should have been pass interference against Cooks in the end zone. Number two, you cannot ignore the fact that Josh had a terrible game for him yesterday. Not only the turnovers, and you can't survive that many turnovers, but he missed Knox wide open. He never will miss that throw. He missed Knox wide open for a game winner in regulation. He had him for a walk-in touchdown and missed him badly. And then the overtime plays. The first pass interference was a bad call. Anyone who thinks the second pass interference was not a good call, then I don't know what game you're watching because that was without any question. And I lean in the case of giving the defenders a break. Without question, that was pass interference. The first one I thought was a bad call. I thought you let it go. The second one was without question, absolutely blatant pass interference. You want pass interference to be less of a penalty? We've talked about that in the NFL forever. You want it to be a 15-yard penalty rather than a spot foul? I'm okay with that. I don't hate to see games decided by pass interference plays. But that was without question a pass interference play. Without question. And I hate to tell you, if they had still had Diggs, they'd be playing tomorrow. They'd be playing next week because Diggs would have absolutely Cooks got there in the middle of the season. He's a good little receiver, except he's a little guy, a really little guy. If you had Diggs there, there's no way anybody else gets that ball, and you're lining up for a field goal to win the game. They missed having a premier receiver. I understand what a pain in the rear end Diggs is. I understand what a disruption he was, just like Brown was for Philly. I understand how hard it is to have those divas on your team in those spots. But the one thing about them is they catch the ball when they need to. And Diggs made a great catch today, just like Adams made an incredible catch on the winning drive for the Rams. He made an absolutely brilliant play. You expect those guys to make those plays. It was a hard, tough, bitter defeat for the Bills who thought this was their year to get to the Super Bowl. But the whining, I'm sorry, it's nonsense. I did not think that was a completed pass. I'm sorry. I didn't. I watched it 20 times. I watched it in slow motion. I watched it from every angle. I don't think there's any question. It was he did not survive going to the ground. He did not complete the catch. Now, normally I would have thought that would have been that it would have been an incomplete pass, except the ball wound up in the hands and the possession of the defender. Not much you can do about that. But the idea that that was 100% a catch, hey, I'm leaning towards the offensive player. I agree the offensive player maintains that play more than not, but he did not complete the play. That's all there is to it. I got to be honest. But I thought they did get screwed in regulation time. That should have been pass interference. They should have had the ball on the 1 yard line. And Josh has knocks for a touchdown and he misses them. And let's be honest, Josh had a rough day. He had some terrible, terrible turnovers. You can't be turning the ball over 5 times, 4 or 5 times in these games. It's not gonna work. Does it hurt that Buffalo's not there? Yes. I mean, if we had Buffalo Rams, Buffalo, Seattle, you got a great Super Bowl. Denver with a backup quarterback or even New England against the Rams or Seattle, I don't like it. It's a boring Super Bowl. It's got no pizzazz. Really, I don't even see I don't like anything out of the AFC. And Denver just might win that game because Sean's good enough to come up with a way to do it. Good enough to pump air and some unrealistic confidence into that quarterback and to have his team believing that they can overcome the obstacle in their building. And you know what? They can. With their defense, with their running game, with their special teams, they can. They can win that game. It's not gonna be easy. They deserve to be underdog. They're 5.5. They're probably headed towards 7. They gotta play with a bad quarterback. That's hard to do. But I think they have a chance. I have not been impressed with New England. I've been impressed with their defense. I have not been impressed with their offense. Although I gotta say the wide receivers have bailed them out a couple times. Um, so Rams, Seattle, good, solid matchup, competitive. No one would be surprised in the least if the Rams beat Seattle. Nobody will be surprised in the least if Seattle beats the Rams. And wouldn't it be amazing if Sam winds up going to a Super Bowl this year? I would not be upset if that happens. I mean, not at all. Always like Sam. And the other game, hey, freaky things happen. Freaky things happen. That was a great game. And we've had some great playoff games this year. We really have. So 4 more teams lining up to play 2 more games before we decide things a couple of weeks from now in the Bay, in San Francisco. Well, just outside San Francisco, uh, for a championship. Does it hurt that Buffalo's not there? Yeah, I think it does. It hurts the marquee value. It hurts the sizzle. It would have been great if Josh was there. It really would have, but he's not. New England could be back, which is amazing when you think about it. You saw Kraft there today, you know? Bob's still playing for championships, and he's like, a gazillion years old, but he's still playing for championships. Vrabel's done an incredible job with that team. Incredible. And you really gotta like what you've seen from the Bears, and that play that he made to send that game into overtime, remarkable. Utterly, utterly remarkable. He's got some very unique qualities that will make him a big star. I don't think there's any question about it. He's got a lot of magic in him at the end of these games. And then he threw a pick. Hey, listen, he threw a ball where he anticipated the receiver was gonna go, and the receiver didn't go there. The defender did and scooped the ball up. It happens. It happens. Now tomorrow, we will preview the Indiana National Championship game against Miami. Miami deserves to be the underdog. Indiana is a special team, brilliantly led and brilliantly coached with a wonderful performer at quarterback and just a team that is special in every way and is one game short of writing a story that will live forever in college football. Miami's going to need their quarterback to play brilliantly. They're going to have their much bigger offensive line dominate. If those things don't happen, because Indiana doesn't make mistakes, they do everything so well and so efficiently and answer every question so definitively. They are a highly unique team, and this is a highly unique coach with a highly unique quarterback. So, New England, Denver, both arriving way ahead of schedule. Rams, expected in a lot of quarters. And Seattle, which has had a very, very big season. Giants got Harbaugh, which I wanted in the worst way. I didn't even have a second choice. And let me say this in closing. Give the Maras credit. We've gone through a lot this year. Chris trying to see where he can pick up the slack for his brother. Chris, who has been turned away when he's wanted to do things in his organization before, now maybe having an opportunity. The Tisches showing grace and cooperation. I thought it would matter to John Harbaugh to be part of this organization and give Tom Coughlin credit for all the influence he had with John in the last couple weeks. And I like John's answer about next year. The idea, hey, we're going to go make the playoffs next year. Hey, you know what? That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to hear. It's about accountability. It's about discipline. It's about working hard and accepting nothing but somebody's best. And, players want that. They really do. The one player out of 50 that doesn't want to get rid of him. You didn't have time for that guy. It's a great, great time for the Giants. It really is. It's a time to finally rebound from what's going on. Tom Coughlin coached the team for 12 years. He left very bitter. And you know what? He was right and we were wrong. I've told you that a bunch of times. And the 12 years since have been basically time awash in the football desert. But that's over with now. That's over with now. Giants got their Giants have their coach. Giants have their quarterback. They have some real performers like Scatterbo, who is infectious. Big days are ahead. Good days are ahead. And that's been a long time coming. Sign up for the free Mike Francesa newsletter. You'll get content and contests and offers and all kinds of goodies. Go to MikeFrancesapodcast.com and sign up today. We'll talk to you tomorrow.